welcome to this week's Stamping and Creating with me, Fiona Whitten. For those of you who don't know me, I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Wokingham, Berkshire, here in the UK. Before I start with what I want to share with you today, just let me check that this is actually going out. I would hate... Yeah, I think it is. That's good. Okay, so next week, in fact, let's not go to next week first. First off, I should say apologies. I supposed to do Stamping and Creating every Wednesday in August. It hasn't quite worked out that way, primarily because we've had painters and decorators in, and the house is covered in scaffolding, so that was very noisy when it went up, and hopefully it's going to come down on Friday, if not next Monday, so it'll all be gone next week. But yeah, it's been chaos because we've had electricians and the painters in, and we've had a couple of days with no electricity, but that's all sorted now, thank goodness. So we've just got to get the painting done, and it's all being done on the outside, so the house hasn't been painted for like about 8 years, so it's getting pretty desperate. Anyway, so that was why I haven't been around the last couple of weeks. It was just too noisy, and I didn't really want to shout, and I'm sure you didn't want to hear all the background noise going on. But anyway, so I'm here now, and in front of me I have the new Mini Catalogue, which goes live next week on the 4th of September. As always, I cannot as yet share the inside of it, but this is what it looks like. I have sent out copies to those of you who have ordered from me or through my online shop since January. I have kept a few back because we have Card and a Cuppa next week. So those of you who usually come to Card and a Cuppa, I will have your catalogues to collect then. Just trying to save a little bit on some postage because the postage here in the UK is ridiculously expensive. But anyway, so that's the Mini Catalogue, so it's out. Also, the same day, there is a new scrapbooking brochure coming out. Now, here in the UK, we weren't affected by the transfers. Some of close to my heart makers who came and joined Stampin' Up. Close to my heart was a company based in the US, I believe it's US, Canada and Australia, so they weren't here in the UK. They closed middle of the year, and before they did so, they talked to Stampin' Up, and Stampin' Up offered demonstratorships with Stampin' Up at a special rate. And also they bought some of the Close to My Heart products. Now, the Close to My Heart products were primarily scrapbooking and stamps and things. And Stampin' Up have been looking at what they can offer for scrapbookers. We used to, years and years ago, have scrapbooking stuff in the catalogue. For some reason that went, but anyway, it's coming back, hooray. So as of next week on the 4th of September, you will be able to purchase some scrapbooking supplies. There's new cardstock, it's called two-tone. So for example, there is going to be, I can't remember now, isn't that awful? I've got a piece of paper here that sort of says what it is. You see, even I haven't been able to get my hands on it. It wasn't part of our pre-order, so we've had to wait as well. So there's going to be a two-tone cardstock in Garden Green, Pool Party, Real Red, Very Vanilla, and Granny Apple Green. Now, I don't think they are all going to be out as of next week. There's also going to be something called White Willow, which is close to the white that the Close to My Heart stampers had. So I've actually put a link up on Facebook to the catalogue because it's only going to be online, and we've been told that we can share it now. So that link is up if you want to have a look. And there'll be all sorts of things. There's kits, there's stamps, there's cardstock, there's paper. A couple of the things actually coordinate with products in the new mini catalogue. And in fact, the one that I'm going to share with you today, the Reindeer Fun, there is some scrapbooking items in the brochure. But anyway, I don't really want to talk anymore about the scrapbooking things because, as I said, I don't have any of it, so I can't share in any depth about it. But I can tell you it's coming, and it's out the same day as the new mini catalogue. But you can also see it now online. But you can't see the mini catalogue. Don't ask me why, it's just one of those things. But anyway, so that's the mini catalogue, that's the scrapbooking things. So what I'm going to share with you today is one of the products, as I said, that's in the mini catalogue. And it's called the Reindeer Fun Bundle. So there is a stamp set. And I've also got inside here the dies. So there are, in fact, 18 dies. Now, some of these dies, so these open ones here, that one, that one, that one, and the tree over there, actually cut out the stamps. And in fact, this one also cuts out some of the paper, which is really nice for those of you who don't like fussy cutting. Anyway, so this is what the dies look like at the moment. These are all obviously on white. So the bundle's going to cost $51.25. Now this bundle we are actually using as part of the Christmas stamper stack. Don't worry, you don't have to purchase it for the Christmas stamper stack. Mine will be there for everybody to use. But if you would like to, then there will be a special price just for those attending. But normally it's $51.25. You can, obviously, as always, you can buy the stamp set or the dies by themselves separately. But by buying the bundle, you save the 10%. So there are 18 dies. So there's like a scene. These two here are parcels for presents. And then these two here are the ribbons. So this will sit directly on that one will sit on that one. Holly leaves, there's a wreath. These two bells, that just comes as one die. And then these three create a deer. And I'll show you that in a second. This little bow actually goes with it as well. These four images dies here, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the four that I was telling you about. So these four coordinate directly with the stamp set. So the stamps can be obviously stamped, coloured, and then die cut. And I've actually got some here, so I can show you. I did. So this particular one, and that's what it looks like. Stamped and die cut and then coloured. So for this one I've used crumb cake and then cherry cobbler and garden green. But obviously you can colour your deer whatever colour you want to. And this is the deer in the paper, and I'll share with you the paper in a minute that the die will cut out. So she is rather cute. This one, as you can see, they're joined, so you can, if you want to, separate them and have the baby deer elsewhere on your card, scrapbooking page, whatever it is that you're using it for. So there's that one. So this one got coloured in, I think it was pecan pie and crumb cake, so the tail's crumb cake. So that was that one. This is the bells. See if you can see it a bit better there. So I've coloured this in Smoky Slate and Real Red. And then this little tree, I've coloured, in fact I didn't actually get around to doing the star, just noticed that, but I'll do that later. I just stamped it in Memento Black, and then I've just used Old Olive, the light and dark, on the actual leaves to do that. So that's what those look like. And then this a little garland as well with light bulbs, or I suppose you can have them as light bulbs or as Christmas tree ornaments. It's really up to you. So that's what the dies look like. And I said I was going to share the paper. So it's a 12 by 12 pack. I haven't got all of it here simply because I've used quite a bit of it already. So this is the sheet that I was telling you about, the fact that you can cut out the deer. So it is in fact that one, which you can only see a bit. But obviously if you like fussy cutting, then there is a lot to choose from. So we have just lots of deer. We have some rather sweet deers on a wreath, cardinals, Christmas trees. So you can have fun going completely nuts with this, cutting things out if you really wanted to. But yeah, you would actually have to fussy cut it all. Again, this is more deer. We've even got them making snow deers. So that's sweet. Christmas trees with deer on. So if I actually got this, I do have 6. Lots of deer prancing around. And then, yeah, more deer. Hence it's called, what is it called? Reindeer Days, it's called. And it coordinates with Early Espresso, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Pecan Pie, Pool Party and Real Red. So more of your sort of traditional Christmas colours. So those are the images on one side, and then on the other side you've got some plaid, garlands of Christmas lights, trees. That one sort of sends my eyes funny, but it's obviously bells, white bells on a real red background, holly, and also parcels. So you could have fun cutting out these parcels as well. Sorry about this, my video has decided to stop on my laptop, so I'm hoping that it is still going. I think it is. I'm hoping it's still going, yes, for you to see. So those are the 6 sheets, and then you get 2 of each. That one I need to set aside because I'm using it for something, and I really don't want to cut it up. And if I leave it in front of me, I probably will end up doing so. Also, as part of the suite, there's these rather sweet peppermint gems, dots. So we have those. There's a large, really large embossing folder. So well, this is a stamp set, and as you can see, it's much bigger. So you're able to do a whole card front with this, plus a bit more. In fact, you could actually do a whole card in it. And there are also some mini boxes. Well, they call them book boxes. And it will become apparent because when you fold them, I'm not going to do it. This bit here actually folds all the way around to create your book, which is really quite nice. So you could stamp on that or decorate it, and then the idea is that sits inside here. You can either use the tape to glue it in, or you can have it sliding in and out. It's really up to you. I've got plans for those. So I was also going to share. Right, so I have taken the liberty. I was going to make a card today, but I've done a lot of the preparation already. So I just wanted to share with you. So that's what the plaid, the Forever Plaid embossing looks like. Obviously this is just basic white, so so that's the embossed side and that's the debossed side. So you could use either, it's really up to you. And then I was going to show you that little deer. Let's just move these out the way. So I've got these, so I've already die cut them. So that's early espresso. This is basic white. That one is pumpkin pie, and then real red. And then you simply layer these to create your deer. And if you want to, you can actually colour. There we go. So you could use Stampin' Blends, you could use brush and ink. I'm just going to quickly use this. I don't want too much colour on there. I think that's about it. Let's see. Just wanted so that his ears look a bit. I think I might do a bit around the nose. Right, so we're going to glue him together and let's see what comes out, or how it comes out. As I said, because I've not made this before, so it's going to be quite interesting. He looks rather cute. So I'm just going to glue him, try and get a bit of glue on his ears. I really want glue on my fingers. I'm going to do it this way. So he looks a bit weird at the moment because obviously I want his eyes to be seen, I think. Let's see what happens then. Oh yeah. So then that bit's going to go on there. And I've got really gluey fingers. Great. So glad this stuff comes off really easily. So I hope you've all been having a good summer. I can't believe kids go back to school next week. Oh, in fact, I think they've gone back to school in some places, but local ones here go back next week. Make sure I've got any bits of glue there, and then I think we'll put his bow on as well. So that's his bow. Like that. So he's very sweet. I do like that. That's what he looks like when he's all made up. And obviously, I mean, I've just gone for the standard sort of brown, so the early espresso for the antlers, really. And it comes through so you can see the eyes. And then the not pumpkin pie, pecan pie on the top. But you could use crumb cake, you can use all sorts of colours. I guess you could, if you really wanted to, even leave him white. But so I'm going to use him for my card. I have decided. So as I said, I have already pre-cut things. So I have cut I was going to say a standard card base. It is in that the finished front is 10.5 by 14.9, but basically I've taken the A4 sheet, the other half would be here, so I've cut it on the short side at 10.5 and then scored it at 14.9 to create my base card. That piece of basic white that I shared with you a minute ago, so that measures 10 centimetres by 14.4. So I've embossed that using that new Forever Plaid. I call it Plaid. Forever Plaid? Oh, I don't know. I just get confused. So I'm going to glue that directly. And the reason I used basic white was simply just for ease of creating, and it means that I don't have to cut an inner need to go inside the card because it's already white. So that's going to go there on there. Let's see if I can get that to line up properly so that it's central. There we go. That's that. Now, so this is a piece of Granny Apple Green, which I've die cut using that this one. Now it's not square, so I've actually cut a rectangle, and it's 10 centimetres wide by, I think it's 9. Yeah, 9 tall. If I cut it 10 by 10, that you had to, I don't know, you seem to have too much space either side. So I decided in this instance I was going to make it so that it was an actual rectangle. And I've cut a piece of the paper. Now I could use the deer side, and it's exactly the same size as the piece of Granny Apple Green, so I could use the deer side. Actually, that's quite nice because it gives you the trees in the background. But I'm going to actually use this little chap as well. I'm going to be really cheeky, and I'm going to have him so that he's just basically popping out. I just need to work out where to put him. So obviously I need to make sure he tucks underneath. I mean, I could have him direct. Actually, quite like him there. Right, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to pop, that will glue directly onto the card front, but I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. And I just need to make sure that I don't put, oh, I could always just glue that on first. Maybe I'll do that. If I glue him on, so he's like that. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. So I will put glue on here just for the time being. Don't want too much, but I just need enough for him to catch. Get in there, honestly. It, no, then I didn't. Right, okay. Right, so that's that. Give it a good press down. Probably find it's now stuck. Okay, so now I can put my dimensionals on. What I will do is I will make sure that I have some across here to hold him. Now I think, well, I could use the larger ones in certain places. So I'm going to use the larger ones in the corners. Like so. I'm going to use the larger one behind his head. Like that. And then I'm going to cut off this, a strip. And I could use the foam sheets, but I like to make use of all my dimensionals, so I always end up, using the edges for things like this. So that can go on there, and then I know well, in theory, he shouldn't go walkabouts. In theory. And I think I'm going to need a bit more on here as well. Don't think I'm going to get away with just those bits. Let's put that piece there. Just trying to see where the wider bits are. You don't want them so thin, but at the same time you don't want it so wide that it's just going to be seen. So I'm going to put that here, like that, and I'll put a piece on this one as well, like that. So then the idea is that we're going to stick this to the paper. So he will be standing a little bit proud of that paper. And if you've cut your paper and you're not too sure where you want it, you can move it around a bit because it's slightly, although it's the same size, you can move it. So as long as you don't have these edges showing within that space, then you could move it slightly. So for example, I want that deer to show a bit more, so I'm going to move it so that that is a bit further down, and then I'll just trim off that piece up there. So let's go for it. Take all these bits off. I think that's the last one there. Right, oops. Okay. So, as I said, I don't want that edge showing, but I do want that deer showing. So it's finding like the right spot to put it, which is not what I wanted. It's down now, so I'm not going to get away with doing that anymore. I've got bits that are like poking out, so you can easily get rid of those. But I simply, if you just take your paper slips and rather than cutting straight, if you cut at an angle, it avoids the top piece, but it will then take away the piece at the back. Okay, so it doesn't look very pretty, but from behind, but does it really matter? Because you're not actually going to see it. So rather than trying to cut it straight, just cut it at that angle using that edge. And that way you can take away all the excess and you still have a nice straight edge there and you haven't taken any of it off. So he is going to go on here like so. Now we could put him in the centre. I haven't decided whether or not I want to put a sentiment. So the sentiments on here are actually quite large. So these are the images on the actual stamp set. But if you look down the bottom, it actually says that images are at 95%. So they're actually bigger than you think. So even if I wanted to put Merry Christmas, so if I put that all the way over there, I could certainly get the Merry on, but the Christmas, I don't think I can. Unless I have it coming off there. Let's stamp it and then cut it and see what it looks like. I think that's always the best thing to do. I've got a piece of basic white scrap here. Find a block. That's that. So you just let the stamp rest and then you can pick it up. And then I just need to find my real red ink. Now I will be cutting this up. I'm just going to, oops, I think I might need a bit more ink on here. These are relatively new stamps, I haven't used them too much. And because they're photopolymer, the best thing to do is to stamp and have something soft. So I've got a foam mat underneath. But the more you use it, the better it will become. So using it and cleaning it and using it and cleaning it, rather than just re-inking in the same colour, works. That's a bit better. So let's see now. I'm going to be brave and I'm going to, actually no I'm not. I'm not going to, just going to get my trimmer out. Let's move him out the way. So I could just simply cut around. But I would actually like this to have straight edges. I'm just going to make it a little bit longer than it needs to be at the moment because I just want to see what it looks like. So we have him there. The Merry Christmas is definitely just a little bit too long. So if I cut it so that of Merry and then Christmas, that might work. There's no guarantee that these are straight, but hey. So let's assume that's going there, and then we could put Merry. We'll put Christmas there, and put the Merry there. That works. Right, okay. And yes, I do talk to myself when I'm making cards. So let's put that on here. Try and get him even. Top, bottom and the left-hand side. And then, actually even the Merry could go there. Right, okay, so that's going to get glued there, but it's going to have a dimensional under that one end, simply because that will rest on there, so it doesn't need to have another dimensional underneath. So, okay, put a little bit of glue on there, like so. And then the Merry can go here. And I think it's just going to need 2 dimensionals because it's not quite going to hit the Granny Apple Green. Not quite anyway. Right, oops, I get it might be a bit wonky, but hey. Yep, it is wonky, but what the heck. Maybe the Christmas is wonky. It's either that or it's my cutting, but hey. Right, so that's that. Now I want to decorate the inside. Now I've got my Christmas tree that I've already made, so that can go. Well, I can put him on that on the inside, or I can put the deer. But that will take up a lot of the space. I don't really want it jumping off. That would look a bit silly. Could put the Christmas, put the bells on, and that's the deer that's being cut out of the paper. But I think the tree would be good. So I'm just going to put that on the inside. because it follows on from the trees that are on the front. I suppose I probably should have used granny apple green, but hey, what the heck. So, and I need to put on some of those little real red and white adhesive back peppermints, which are very sweet. You get 150 of them, and they are in 3 different sizes. So they're in 4mm, 5mm and 6mm, just so you know. Backing off. So you've got the really tiny ones, the middle sized ones, and then the much larger ones. Just use my take pick tool just to pick them up. Let's see, I think I might go for middle sized ones. Maybe you in a big one too. I'll put that there, I think. Let's keep it on the white rather than putting it on the granny apple green. So that is my card, my finished card from today's stamping and creating. So I hope you like him. And obviously you can go to town and add some Wink of Stella on some of these branches, on snow. It's really up to you. So that's my finished card using the Reindeer Fun Bundle. Next week it is a card and a cuppa. So card and a cuppa is back now after our summer break. So I'll be at the Home Grange, so Craft Village. So we'll be at the Grange Chocolate Cafe from 10 next Wednesday, week today, and then be a virtual card and a cuppa in the afternoon. And don't forget, if you've still got bonus codes, those need to be used before the end of the month. Would suggest you use them Friday at the latest. If you leave it till Saturday, which is the 31st, and you run into some problems, demo support's going to be closed. So yeah, so you use them and try not to lose them. And also the paper sale. So there's been a paper sale on this month, and there's been 15% off select packs of paper from the annual catalogue. So that's ongoing. Again, that will end on the 31st. And as I said earlier, next month we have a mini catalogue and also the scrapbooking brochure. So in the meantime, have a good week, and I hope to catch up with you next week. Take care. Bye.